Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live this morning. And hope you're having a great day. And good to be with you guys this morning on another Doctor is In podcast and live Facebook. So, good morning, Nick. First one on that I see. Nativity, you're usually first. And good morning to you. And you guys are the Pronovos are on with us this morning. Ida, good to have you on. Melanie, how are you? Bon matin. And Lisa, how are you, Lisa? Pierrette. Okay, got a big crowd coming already. Okay, Donna and Sandy from Orangeville. Yolande, bonjour. Good to have you guys. Steph, have a wonderful day to you too, Steph. We appreciate you big time. Linda, Keith, how are you? And Joanne, nice to have you with us. And Jane, happy day. I'm a happy guy today. Angelina, how are you? From Tennessee, a little bit rainy in Tennessee. Yeah, it's a little overcast here too. And Carrie from Nebraska. Good to have you on, Carrie. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to follow us here at the Martin Clinic. Okay, good to have you on. Val from Alberta. Hey, bright and early you're there, right? It would be 6:30 in the morning there. And Ermi and Leslie from Brantford and Beverly from Oklahoma. Okay, good to have you on. So from coast to coast in Canada and coast to coast in the United States, and quite a few from around the world. Yesterday we said hello to someone from the Netherlands that was watching us yesterday. And Monica and Crystal, and I don't want to miss anybody, but you know that I have to get going, okay? So Shelly, and I mean it, Anna. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk this morning about your mitochondria, okay? How do you have very good mitochondria health? What is your mitochondria? Mitochondria are your little battery packs within your cells. Every cell in your body has a mitochondria. You got billions, probably trillions of cells. And they contain a battery pack called your mitochondria. Okay, now I flunked art. So I'm just going to show you, I drew a little cell. And in the middle of the cell is a nucleus. See that? And in the cell, within the cell wall, and by the way, the cell wall out here, you know what that's made up of? Cholesterol. Now, see these little things here? And they don't probably look like that. Like I said, I flunked art. Those are your mitochondria, your battery packs, okay? And they release a fuel. You know what that fuel is called? ATP. The fuel is called ATP. Now, I want to talk to you today about some basics of your mitochondria. What do you do? Now listen, if your mitochondria are not releasing the proper ATP, the number one sign of your mitochondria not burning the right fuel, ATP, is fatigue. Now, I don't mean, the night before last, okay, not last night, but the night before, I didn't sleep as well as I usually do. And we'll talk about sleep in a minute, but I just one of those nights I didn't sleep very well or whatever. Guess what? Yesterday I was sort of dragging my butt most of the day, okay? Now, I'm not talking about that as being a sign of your mitochondria dysfunction. A true sign of your mitochondria dysfunction is when you're generally fatigued, you're tired. Do you know that the number one reason that people go see their family doctors and the number one complaint, Doc, I'm tired. Now, you only have to go to medical school for a day that you start to, well, fatigue is a very generalized symptom. Okay, it's a symptom. Let me just see if I have it here. I want to show you, okay? So don't mind me. I'm going to go off screen just for a second. I want to show you a book, and I wrote it in French too. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. You've seen it upside down, or that. Now, look at this guy here. Do you recognize him? That's me. That book is 25 years old at least, or longer than that. Okay? Chronic Fatigue Syndrome, The Modern Woman's Curse. That was a big seller for me way back, okay? And then I turned this book here, I wrote in French, La fibromyalgie et le syndrome de la fatigue chronique, okay? Now those are big French words. But this became a big seller in Quebec. And this was a number one seller here in Canada years ago. I went all over North America with that. As a matter of fact, I did some seminars even in Europe with that book, because I had done a study in that book on with pine bark extract, and I actually did a fair amount of traveling to talk about that small study that I had done. Anyway, I want to say this about these chronic fatigue syndrome was a new phenomenon if you go back 25, or more than that, 30 years ago, 35 years ago. It was almost like an epidemic, and they didn't know, they call it the yuppie flu and whatever. But all I'm saying is the number one complaint for, and it was mostly women, was exhaustion. They were exhausted. And fibromyalgia, my theory back then, is that fibromyalgia was an autoimmune. Your body was turning on itself. And one of the biggest signs, not only pain that would not go away, was fatigue, was exhaustion. And what I was saying back then, I mean, this is way back, what I was saying is what was happening to these people was your battery packs, the mitochondria, were no longer releasing they were releasing ATP, energy, fuel, but it was bad fuel. And when you get a fatigue, and listen, you know what I mean by that. You're exhausted. If you're there, I have good news for you today. If you're exhausted, always tired, you wake up in the morning tired, like you get out of bed, give me, 2 minutes to get my cobwebs out and, brush my teeth, and then I have a bottle of water first. And I want to talk to you about that, because that's one of the things you can do for your mitochondria. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I have a bottle of water, and then I have a cup of coffee, because if I don't have my coffee, I'm not a happy puppy, okay? But by the time I hit the bottle of water, I'm fine. I got lots of energy. Okay, that's me. That's generally, I'm very thankful for that, because I treated thousands, tens of thousands of patients over the years that were just the opposite of that. They were exhausted. And when you get exhausted, of course, there can be reasons, like it could be the thyroid, it could be the adrenals, it could be whatever. But what I am bringing you to is the cellular level. What happens at the cellular level? Because this is very important. If you don't fix that, the cells, and change the ATP, change the fuel coming out of cells, you're not going to get better. And again, this is a little bit of negativity, but the vast majority of physicians of any kind, they're not into your mitochondria. And they should be. They're into symptoms. Fatigue. Are you anemic? Is it your thyroid? Do you have cancer? Blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people, once they eliminate most of those tests and they're within normal limits and still they're exhausted, you have to dig deeper, and it is usually the mitochondria that are affected. So your mitochondria are your little battery packs. Makes sense, doesn't it? And every cell in your body has them. So today, what I want to do is talk to you about how do you regenerate your mitochondria? Because your body is unbelievable. It has the capacity, and I don't care how old you are. It's not age. Now, of course, if you're older, it's always slower. But it's amazing how you regenerate. And the first thing we're going to talk about is what I always talk about, and that is food. So for your mitochondria, you have positive and you have negative. You must start with food, because if you don't start with the diet, you're not going to get at the root problem. Because remember, your mitochondria are battery packs and they run on fuel. They run on the fuel you give them. And it's so important that you understand that. And the fuel that they will release has everything to do primarily with what you feed yourself. So negative, I'm telling you, every day I am going to repeat. So when I talk to you tomorrow, I'm going to tell you what's negative. What's negative? Food. Sugar, and crappy carbohydrates. Bread, pasta, rice, cereals, sugars, sweets, pastries, bagels. I guess what I had this morning? I had a muffin. But it was my wife's homemade muffin. Much better for you. I don't have that very often, but you know what? I could live on muffins. I love muffins. But these were homemade and no sugar, okay? So, anyway, all I'm saying is the fuel, from the negative sense, you must, and especially if you're exhausted, please don't fool yourself. You have to eliminate sugar. Sugar is a negative fuel for your mitochondria. I talked about this that long ago. 30 years ago. Get rid of sugar in your life. If you're exhausted, you're just giving your mitochondria the wrong fuel. So on the negative side, crappy carbohydrates, which will be sugar in 5 seconds, by the way. Okay? So when you have bread, just understand, just look at it as a lump of sugar. Well, more than one lump of sugar. They should actually put it on a, like, And, you know, for people, for example, if you're exhausted, don't ever have a banana. Because that's 6 lumps of sugar. Oh, Dr. Martin, I need my potassium. No, you don't. Potassium's not your problem. Find it from another source. Because there's nothing that will affect your mitochondria in a negative way like sugar, even good sugar. Your mitochondria are not screaming for sugar. They'll take it if that's what you're giving it to. And most kids today, they live on that stuff. Up to 200 pounds. They don't even see it because they don't know how to read a label, and nobody's told them. That's not a balanced diet you need. It's a very unbalanced diet you need. Yes. So mitochondria health primarily relies on food you're eating. On the negative side are the crappy carbohydrates, sugars. And on the positive side, the fuel that your mitochondria love the most is fat. Well, that's what it wants to burn. It wants to burn fat. That is like, I've used this expression before, go to the airport and watch the fuel trucks that come up and fill up those jets. They're not using the fuel that you put into your car, you know. It's not the same. It's jet fuel. And when you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you're giving your body jet fuel. 99% octane. Very important if you want to regenerate those battery packs. And remember, the sign that your battery packs have been damaged is fatigue. It's the sign. It's exhaustion. You need to change fuels. Because you see, you need amino acids. You have in the animal kingdom 8 essential amino acids. They're not found in the plant kingdom. And those are primarily for your mitochondria. So you need vitamin S. Steak. There is not a better fuel in the world than vitamin S in terms of food. It's number 1. Okay, liver. I put liver up there, but I don't like liver. I'm sorry. I wish I liked liver, but I don't. I like steak. So steak and liver are right here. All the amino acids, all of them are in vitamin S. Okay? Some in hamburger, roast beef, some in fish, but number 1 is vitamin S steak. There's nothing like it. And make sure you eat the fat. Don't get a lean piece of meat. What are you getting that for? Mitochondria want fat. They burn it as rocket fuel. And it helps to regenerate your cells. At the cellular level, your little batteries start to regenerate when you eliminate and when you add. Add vitamin S. There's nothing like it. I often talk about L-taurine. You find that in an egg, and it's in steak too. It's an amino acid that's in, it's your brain food. You got brain cells too. They have mitochondria too. Okay. So you got the food thing. And you know what? I know it goes against the grain to some extent. I understand that every day I'm told that red meat is not good for you. And don't eat too much red meat. And I don't know, that is a lie, a 100% lie. Well, there's nothing better for you. Bring me any food you want. Okay? To my dear, and I mean this sincerely, my dear vegetarian friends, bring me what you would say is your best food. What would it be? Broccoli? Kale? What would you bring me? Probably one of those things, right? Salad? Right? My vegan friends, bring me any food you want. Take from your top of the line. And nutritionally, there's no comparison to that. Bring me whatever you want. And a steak. There's no comparison. From B12, and your body will not work properly without B12, and neither will your mitochondria work without B12. L-carnitine, L-taurine, and you know what's a big one for your mitochondria? The big one for your mitochondria is CoQ10. You've heard of it, CoQ10. Well, CoQ10, your body makes it. Your mitochondria make CoQ10. And CoQ10's for every cell in your body. But listen. CoQ10 is very important nutrient. And you know what? If you're on a statin drug, to lower your cholesterol, it destroys your CoQ10. Just watch American commercials for CoQ10. And they'll say, oh, if you're on a statin drug, you need to take CoQ10. And that's true. That's true. And why is that very dangerous if your CoQ10 goes down? Because it will destroy your muscle. You see, your muscle cells absolutely need CoQ10 to work properly. If you're on a statin drug, it's going to damage your muscles. Oh, I wonder what your heart is. I think, Dr. Martin, that my heart is a muscle. You got it. So when you get on a statin drug, it lowers your CoQ10, and that damages your muscle, and your heart's a muscle. How do you like that? But the way to build up your CoQ10 is to eat vitamin S, and that is in steak. Yeah. You see why I'm so adamant? And I tell people, look, I don't want your propaganda. The other day, there was someone online, right, during the program here. And afterwards, I'm on with her, and all due respect, she said, oh, Dr. Martin, red meat is terrible for you. It's full of hormones, and it's full of that. Well, look, from a nutritional standpoint, there's nothing better. So don't fool yourself. Ladies, don't fool yourself. It ain't in chicken. No, chicken's all right. I didn't say it was bad for you. But it ain't vitamin S. Chicken doesn't get vitamin C. What's vitamin C? Coffee. I didn't name it. Vitamin C is not chicken. Chicken didn't make my hit parade of the vitamins. Okay. So food, guys, food, and especially steak. If you're exhausted, have a steak every day, or roast beef or hamburger, and leave the bun alone. There's nothing like that. There's no meat like it for your CoQ10. Your battery packs need it. Number 2. I'm only at number 2, and I think I had 7 of them. Okay, number 2. How do you regenerate your battery packs? Exercise. Now, if you're exhausted, you don't feel like doing exercise. But start with a few minutes, even when you don't feel like it. Any movement at all is going to help your mitochondria. Go for a walk. Start with that. Go around the block if that's all you can do. Movement helps your mitochondria. It really does. It helps your mitochondria regenerate. Now, if you ask me what's the best vitamin E exercise, I'm going to tell you it's like short, 3 times a week, between 15 and 20 minutes. You don't have to go long. Try and do some intense. And that's just, even if you're just doing weights, do them till you're fatigued. Short, fast. I've shown you an app I like called the Gym Boss. And on it, you'll see Tabata. And you can just download it for free on your phone. I like it. And it's Tabata, brought to you by the South Korean speed skating coach. And he found out that he could get his athletes in the best of shape if he did Tabata. And that is 4 minutes, 20 seconds intense, 10-second rest, 8 repetitions. That takes you 4 minutes. It's very good. So you can do anything in those 4 minutes. Anything. Just do it to the extent of trying to get yourself to really pump out for 20 seconds, take a 10-second rest, and then do it again or do another one. And I've got a little routine. I find it very effective for me. And I know what it's doing to my mitochondria. It's regenerating. Vitamin D. You knew I was going to say that. Vitamin D. Because vitamin D, your mitochondria have a little antenna. And they want vitamin D to regenerate those little battery packs. The sun, the sun, the sun. You need the sun. Now, if you're out in the sun for 20 minutes, you see, you don't have to burn in the sun. Burning's no good. You don't need that. I can go in the sun quite a bit longer because my skin has really, I've got a pretty good tan, and but I don't burn, guys. I'm very careful. I put a hat on and I cover up, but I try and sunbathe. When it's really nice, I try and just lie down in the sun for about 20 minutes. I'm thinking of charging my batteries. And everything else, my little T cells and my natural killer cells, they're all getting their battery charged up. You know when you charge your phone? You charge your phone when your phone's down? It's running on batteries too. There's no charge like the sun to charge your battery. So get in the sun when you can. And to all my American friends, especially in the South, that don't go in the sun, us Canadians, we pay any kind of money to get down there, to get in that sun. It's It's very important to recharge your batteries. Sleep. Oh, what a problem in our society today. 70% of the population don't get a good sleep. You need that. Your repair team comes in at night, not only on your brain, guys, because they do. You have a separate lymphatic system up in the brain. You need to regenerate that. But every cell in your body needs to be swept out at night. Let the night shift come in. And they only come in if you're sleeping. Do everything you can. And don't take sleeping pills. Because it'll put your brain, it'll sedate your brain, but it won't let your brain sleep. Did you know that? So if you have to do that, you do that temporarily, but don't, because you're going to lose your memory. Because the repair team is not coming into your brain at night. And sleep a little siesta during the day. It recharges your batteries. Huh, Dr. Martin, I can't sleep during the day. I won't sleep at night. Well, you're not sleeping at night. You better sleep. Get a power nap during the day. Turn the batteries and put them on your charger. Think of that. I often do that in my mind. You know that? I'm in the sun and I'm going, I got my mitochondria charging. I plugged in. I'm sleeping. I have my little nap during the day. I like that. 15, 20 minutes. I've been doing that for 50 years. I watched my dad do it. My dad would, busy in practice, he'd come home, and I don't know how he did it because he had very little time, but my dad would fall asleep within 5 seconds, and he just had himself trained. And I guess what? I trained myself. I'm gone in the day. Just like that, regenerate the brain. And regenerate your battery packs within your cells. Another one, and I'll close on this, is fasting. Now, remember what the reset is. Okay? The Martin Clinic reset. What is that? It's fasting without fasting. Okay? It is. Because when you're eating eggs, meat, and cheese, it's fasting without fasting because you don't need much insulin, hardly any at all. And when you're fasting with eggs, meat, and cheese, your liver is being emptied out. You see, that's one of the biggest goals in fasting. And it also helps you at the cellular level, at your mitochondrial level. Now listen, even me, I often do intermittent fasting even with the Martin Clinic reset, which is fasting without fasting. If you want to add intermittent fasting, and this is a very good habit if you can get into it, try and stop eating. The best one, in my opinion, is try and stop eating from, let's say, 6 o'clock and don't eat again. Well, even if you don't eat again till 8 o'clock, you're into 14 hours and you did intermittent fasting. Now, if you can even go till 10 o'clock or even go to noon, it's even better, because what happens is the repair is taking place at the cellular level with your mitochondria. That's what's happening. So it's a regenerative thing. So remember, the reset, you're fasting without fasting. You're going to get the benefits of fasting. And if you can do the intermittent fasting on top of that, where you just don't eat anything from 6, some people can't do it, but if you can do it, it's even better. It's even more beneficial. So there you have it. There you have it. The mitochondria, your battery packs. Aren't they important? And remember the sign. Don't fool yourself. If you're fatigued, and I don't mean just one day, like you are generalized fatigued, what's happening is at the mitochondrial level, in the cells of your body, from your muscle cells to your bone cells to your eye cells to every cell in your body has a little battery pack. Regenerate those batteries, guys. They will regenerate, and start with food. Okay, tomorrow is question and answer Friday. Lord willing, we're going to do that tomorrow. Send in your questions. I know some of you have already sent some in, and do that, and I'll be happy to talk about whatever question you want me to answer. I'll do everything I can to try and answer all the questions tomorrow. And if you get a chance, share this with your friends and family. We appreciate that. If you're not a member of the Martin Clinic Facebook group, become a member. Okay? Join that cast of thousands that are in that private Facebook group. It's fantastic. It's tremendous. And if you don't get our emails, Dr. Martin Jr. put out a good email this morning. If you're not on that email list, then go to our website and sign up for our emails. Okay, martinclinic.com. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Lord willing, God bless.